Wednesday week.
I just love the drama.
Biggest U-turn since winter fuel allowance.
Cut that.
Because loose lips, sink ships.
And what the fans want is to stop teams being owned by madmen.
Sticky patch came when the rest of the team's sticky patch came, which was sort of January onwards.
Grumble, hoops joke, hot wings.
You should be stood outside Hillsborough, stocks having rotten fruit thrown at him.
Sheffield is a place like no other.
Although on the far post, it's cut back instead for Smith. Oh, a sensational goal! For Wednesday week!
Put on your podcast!
Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Week. Hello from the other side edition. This week, Sheffield Wednesday are in action midweek against Bolton Wanderers, a team that are no stranger to themselves to absolute nutcases in charge. Tonight, I'll be talking to Ryan from the Trotter Chatter podcast in... Yes, Ryan, how are you, pal? You all right?
I'm not bad. We're sun shining. What more can you ask for?
There was a lot of buttons to press there. I forgot this is my first one of the season, so I'm a bit sixes and sevens. And I also promised people that I was going to get rid of the Adele song at the start of that, and then chucked a 180 in and just had a little funky little reggae version of it, which I quite enjoy. How is it that side of the Pennines? Is it warm?
It's bloody beautiful. We've never seen such heat. We've never seen such heat over here. It's things are interesting, exciting to be a Bolton fan at the moment. A lot of unanswered questions, a lot of hopes and dreams still with us. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Well, tell me about it. Tell us about how the season started for you, because I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so had a rough season last year. Ian Everts took us as far as he could, we'll say. And we brought in Stephen Schumacher, who was basically playing with Evert's team last season. It was a bit of a write-off, to be honest. So Schumacher's had his first proper go at it, brought in his own style of play, shipped out a load of players, brought in a load of players, and we're a very different Bolton Wanderers now, gone from the five at the back passing around to a very exciting attacking team. So yeah, started really well against Stockport as our opening game. But we didn't get the result we wanted, missed 15 shots. So, you know, the rules of football law says you miss that many shots, you're going to lose. And we did.
That is the rules, mate, yeah.
I think when we hit the post for the third time, I was like, right, we know where this is going.
Yep.
And then we went back to the Reebok on Saturday. Plymouth came up to us and we played them off the park. So really, really good home performance. And, yeah, smiling faces at the moment.
Plymouth's an interesting one, isn't it? Because they went flying out of League One a couple of years ago, fought tooth and nail to stay in the Championship last year. I thought they'd do all right, but they've had a stinker of a start to the league, haven't they?
Yeah, really rough. They went to Barnsley came to them. Sorry, and they had a goal chalked off early, and then it all just went wrong. Players were fighting each other. It was absolute chaos, and then they just didn't show up. They didn't show up on Saturday, so we took advantage of it.
Big fan of that. So coming up this midweek, I mean, it's always difficult, the League Cup, because you never know where your club's going to sit, because it's not like there's going to be a press announcement going, listen, the League Cup's the right waste of our time and energy, so we're probably going to phone it in with the kids. But you never know, do you? I mean, how are you feeling about this Wednesday? Would a cup run see you right?
I don't see why not. I mean, we had a good couple of EFL Trophy runs in the past that have been a lot of fun. Travelling we went to Arsenal last season for in the League Cup. I think it's about giving players minutes, isn't it? Getting that momentum going. Like we've only won one game, and another win would set us up nicely, and got quite a dense squad as well. So I see it as a good opportunity for those who missed out on Saturday to potentially stake their claim, or the ones who were dropped from the Stockport game to go, right, I deserve to be in the team. So why not? I mean, it's not where I want all of our sort of concentration to be, but a win's a win, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. There's a lot to be said about getting a win under the belt from a psychological perspective. Now, for those that are listening, if you can hear squeaking in the background, Ryan's dog's going nuts with a little squeaky ball. And
I'm trying to get rid of it.
let's have a look at him. Where is he? Show dog. Need to see dog. Where is
We'll
he?
get her up in it. I'll get her up when I can. She's just,
We'll get that out. We'll get that out of the way in a bit, folks. So, if you're watching, you're in for a treat. So
the man in costume. It's a bit weird in my house.
Yeah. The furries, I've heard all about them. So you mentioned tactics earlier on. Then, so you were playing pretty robust football. I assume the robust football has been a hangover from the off-field issues that have been a problem. And you've just had to kind of dig deep and see what you can get over the line. And that's how Bolton have just been playing for a number of years now. Or is it just the way that Evert's played?
Yeah, so Ian Everett is a big Pep Guardiola fan. He loves Guardiola. And
he's got blood on his hands, hasn't he, Pep Guardiola? He's ruined football, hasn't he?
Well, he has, because since Schumacher's joined, we got to a point where we were cheering long goal kicks and things like that.
I love that. Blood and thunder. Yeah, blood and thunder, and then a flick on from the attacking mid, and then a big shit kicker striker's toes on it.
It's what we've been brought up on at Bolton with Big Sam and Phil Parkinson, and we've got wingers who actually take on defenders and stuff. It's brilliant. Football's back for us. Football's healing, because we were so used to that passing around the back, slow build-up play. It's very hard to get a 20,000 plus stadium on the feet with that style of football, and you could feel the atmosphere of recent, and I think it makes a big difference. And not so much. It's not so much Wednesday. I don't think we're bringing too many, so I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. But good vibes around the club, and it's nice that we're in this situation again.
Well, it must be nice, mate. It must be nice. Now, I tell you what, let's talk about your main strengths. So, talk us strengths on the pitch. Where are you? Where are you best? Where are your better players? Where are you good?
So it's an interesting one, really, because we made a lot of changes. I think we had 9 new players start on the Sunday game, and we've rotated some more. So brought in a lot of new players, but what you can see. You can see who the danger men are going to be. Watch this space. Mario Cosia-Dubary. He was on loan at Blackburn last season.
Sorry, that was a lot of words and syllables you just said. Ben. Repeat that for me again. I'm going to make a note of that.
Mario Cosia-Dubary.
Right. Okay. I got you.
Yeah, so he was.
I'm not going to endeavour to say it right now until I've practiced it. Go on.
Our fans are really struggling with it already, but he was on loan at Blackburn last season from Brighton. We've took him, and already we're trying to not hype up how good he is, just in case they want him back again. Really, really tricky player. Got man of the match on his home debut. And then we've got a young lad called Thierry Gale from Barbados on the other side, a bit raw, but again, it's these fast wingers who are going to cause fullbacks a nightmare. We brought in Mason Burstow from Hull, big striker, got a bit of pace about him. He screamed donkey just looking at him, because we've had plenty like him. We had Keona Tete, and I thought, same profile list, but no, brilliant player. Mm-hmm. Who else? Defence is we're still uncertain, because that was one of our big issues last season. But we've got a lot of option in midfield. So Aaron Morley, well sought after Wickham. He was on loan there last season, came back to us, and has been great since. We brought in Erahon, another difficult one for you, from Lincoln. If I had to compare him to maybe a player from the 1970s, proper midfielder, ain't afraid of a tackle. And we've got, obviously, Xavier Simons as well, as a new player from Bolton. Picks up the ball, carries it, distributes it. So we've got some real, almost qualities what we're not seeing, because the profile of player, what Schumacher wants, is so different to what Everett wanted. But I think it makes for more enjoyable football.
Schumacher's a good manager at that level, though, isn't he? He knows how to get out of that league. I mean, is that what you're hoping for this season? Are you looking to challenge for getting up?
It has to be. You look at how Sunderland were rotting in there for a long time, Portsmouth, Charlton, Derby, and they're all leaving us behind now, basically, and we're one of the bigger teams left. It has to be. We've been so close. We've lost in a playoff final to Oxford United, of all teams, when we thought that was an easy one for us. So it's got to be, and he's done it before with a much lower budget. So there's no reason why not. That Plymouth team were no one would have put money on them to go up, and they were daft good. They were daft good. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, they went up automatic when they went up in over us, and we had to go through the playoffs. So let's talk about. I want to just. I know I'm trying to truncate a few years with the grief here into a couple of minutes, but I want to talk about because it'll be of interest to the Wednesday fans, your ownership issues and the financial fiduciary trouble. Because I don't get to talk to Bolton fans as much, and I kind of. And there must be a point where you're looking at what's happening at teams like Morecambe and Sheffield Wednesday going, that's us, that happened to us. We were close to that. You didn't quite go to the wall, especially in the Northwest as well, where football has been assumed by the big teams in Manchester and Liverpool and things like that. So no disrespect, but the smaller teams are not picking up the fans. So like you look at teams like even Blackburn, and when they're at home, they're not really filling their stadium anymore. So for what would be the correct term? Satellite towns such as Bolton, Wigan, Blackpool, all in that area, they're not getting the fans that they used to, are they? And do you feel like that's been a factor? And can you try and truncate the issues that you had going back a few years in order for the Sheffield Wednesday fans to try and get their head around what's happening?
Yeah, so what we will always remember with Sky Sports is they had a countdown of our demise, basically, which was obviously the most untasteful thing I've ever seen. And it's dark days. We, funnily enough, we marked 6 years ago since we played the youngest ever EFL side fielded. They were all kids, and that's the state we were in. We had a shirt that looked like it was bought from Sports Direct with no printing on it or anything like that. Staff weren't getting paid. And for a club that brings 20,000+ home fans every couple of weeks, it's a big team to lose. And you look at what the situation what Bury were in, basically the same time as us, but we managed to escape it. It's dark days, and you start wondering, right, who am I going to support next season? That's how scary it gets. And you don't hear the full picture either. And I'm sure Wednesday fans are exactly the same. It's all very cloak and dagger, and you only hear when you think it's okay again, and then wages are delayed, that kind of stuff. And the only way we can feel we're almost much more appreciative now of what we've got because we realise where we were, and it almost felt like the club hit reset, and we've got a much more sustainable owner now. And you've got to think yourself lucky in those situations because it's happening all up and down the leagues, isn't it? It feels like a lifetime ago now, so it's very difficult to sort of
It is quite recent history, though, as well, but it is only about 6 years ago, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's sort of the post-COVID stuff, though. Like I say, it felt like we just started the game again, and it was good for us. And I'm hoping that'll be the same for Wednesday if they get into that position. But yeah, it was hard. It was hard. That's the only way I can put it. And if you're wondering if your team's going to be there the next week, I know you're quite not in that sort of administration point, but it's easily a possibility. You might do it tomorrow. No, I heard the thing about sock tape, and I thought, right, it can all get worse.
The sock tape thing's one of them things where you go, yeah, sure, of course. You know what I mean? You nothing surprises you anymore. And I've said 1,000 times on this show, normally we're scratching for content through the summer. As a content creator yourself, you know that you kind of like, but let's settle this one for all. Who's better? Is it Kevin Davies or Kieran Lee? You know what I mean? And you kind of like, no, I'll tell you what, we've had, as content creators, we've had a lot to talk about. And you must have been the same. The amount of stuff you learn about the club, and then you realize I can't say that on the internet, I can't say that in public, or the way you learn about how things work as well. You're like, God, I just wanted to talk about football with my pals on the internet.
Yeah, that's it. There's one of our guys on the pod, he's just recently done a book about the Sam Allardyce era, and he was lucky enough to meet Big Sam. The debts of the club started when he was involved. So it's been poorly run for many years.
He's got previous as well, though, hasn't he, Sam?
Yeah, he has. But he was talking about how he was the club made so much, but it owed so much for the Reebok Stadium, and that carried on for 20 years and that kind of stuff. And I think we got to the point when Neil Lennon took over as manager. We thought, oh, this is a brilliant appointment. And he didn't know how bad it was. And then next minute, all these stones get all overturned and it all comes to light then when obviously the Premier League players are still there on high wages and that kind of stuff. And it's frightening. It is frightening. You don't know when it's going to happen because obviously people put these screenshots on of stuff from companies' house and you can't make heads or tails to it, can you? And
Yeah.
I'm no financial expert, and it's very difficult to get your head around, and it's almost just jumps out of nowhere, basically. Yeah, tough times, but I think these sustainability checks for owners are going to be a big thing, and I'm not sure what the criteria are, but they've got to be tougher, haven't they, clearly?
Yeah, there's a lot of chat about putting a deposit down now. So if you get into positions that both our clubs have been in where we're not paying people, that it comes out of that deposit, as it were. Like if you had a flat and you just did a runner on your last month, and they can take the rent from that. That type of thing, which seems sensible to me. The more I keep hearing people like Simon Jordan talk about it, the more I'm thinking I don't understand why that's not already a thing. You know what I mean? So in terms of this Wednesday, how do you think it's going to pan out? I mean, I don't know. Did you watch us on Sunday? There was a spirited performance there, but I feel there's an element of I didn't recognise 80% of our bench, and we had two big injuries that the lack of pre-season really kicked in on Sunday. I don't know if we're going to play a full strength squad. You must be fancying the chances, right?
Yeah, well, I watched the game. I thought it was a great start, but I was just going to mention that it was the pulling up with injuries and stuff like that. And are you going to realistically risk a lot of those first team players on a cup game when really it's all about trying your best to stay in that league? And basically, you could have got a point based on yesterday, and I'm confident that it'll be an easy game for us. I think you'll play a weakened side, and I think we'll have a right good go at it. It's sort of kicking a man while he's down a little bit, but we're there to win a game, aren't we? But I'm quietly confident. I'm not going to be as brash as say it's going to be like a 5-0 or anything like that, but I just can't see in the mindset of Wednesday, like I said, risking those players if they're already having fitness issues. So,
there's. I tell you what's been quite overwhelming. I know our fans can be quite loud and quite contentious, and I keep seeing a lot of our own fans having tear-ups with other clubs, especially when we're in League One with Plymouth fans. We've got no real affinity with Plymouth. We've got nothing to have a tear-up with them, but as soon as we kept getting battered every time we went down there, so we're having a tear-up with Plymouth online and stuff like that. But there's been an element a couple of years later after that where we've. The outpouring of support has been genuinely dead nice from football. I'd even go as far as saying some Blades fans will be like, I don't like you very much, but to see you go out of business would be terrible. You know what I mean? I feel like that's been we've won some friends there, but like you were saying, you can only play what's in front of you, can't you? It's not like you can turn around to the League Cup and go, oh, these lads are. Can we play someone who's not? Who won't feel bad if we beat them? Can we do that a little bit? You know what I mean? So go on then, give me a score prediction, Raz.
I'm going to be, like I said, I weren't going to go 5-0, but I'm going to go a comfortable win. I'm going to say 3-0 to Bolton. Like I said, I think you're playing an experienced side. We've got quite a lot of strength in depth. We've got enough to play two lineups, and I think there are a lot of players fighting for that position because we are so stacked. So I think we'll be a tough team to beat. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 win.
Who we got next coming up this weekend?
So we go down to your neck of the woods, to Barnsley. Feels like we've played them a million times over the past 6 seasons. We're actually sick of each other. But yeah, we're going to go to Orkwell. They've started really well, so I don't think it'll be an easy one. But like I said, these first 10 games, you can't really get a grip on what's going on within the league. So it'll be tough, but I just want to see us crack on and hopefully get a point, 3 points. Happy with that.
If you get a point down at Oakwell, that wouldn't be too shabby given the way that Barnsley have started. And it's that weird part of the season where you could end up playing one of the big teams that's come down in that first 4 weeks while the transfer window's still open. Like Leicester yesterday, they had that Fatawi and El Kanous. And they might not be there by the end of the month, but they've just torn us a new one. You know what I mean?
I remember Burnley last year when they had Weghorst and all them still on the first couple of weeks of the season. It's hard to judge, isn't it? It's hard to judge what they're going to be like, really, at this point.
It really is. Listen, Ryan, that's been absolutely box office. I appreciate that. So don't forget, Wednesday night, 19:45 kickoff, 7:45 in Old Money. And we'll see you at the Toughsheet. Stay on the line, Raz. We'll talk after. Forgot to press the button.
Every week, live from 8 p.m. It's the Wednesday week. Bringing you football analysis.
They said we'll win the league next season.
Bringing you banter.
I don't think everyone wants to listen to my boring anecdotes.
Why not? You've been doing it for 4 years on this show.
I should not have said that. I should not have said that.
This show's like, you're mental. No, I'm not.
Clip that.
Bringing you terrible impressions.
Wibble, wobble, wobbly, wobble, wibble, wobble, Cyber Jordan.
Hey, pay your bills.
I don't know where these jokes are coming from.
Available on all social medias.
Obviously, this goes out on YouTube and as well as all the other social media out there for podcasts, etc.
The award-winning Wednesday week. Join us.
Put on your